All right, in this video, we're going to be talking about sales tax as well as TAVT, which is known as the ad valorem tax on your car. All right, so let's kind of get started. All right, so a sales tax is basically a consumption tax, which means if you buy something, you are going to pay tax on it. So, like for example, there's a receipt over here, and pretty much everybody should have seen a receipt at this time in their life. And so, in this particular receipt, there were 5 books that were purchased for $20 each. You have what is called the subtotal, and then you have the tax. Now, the tax, it looks like in this case, was 8%. So the tax is 8%. Sometimes some receipts have it, sometimes it doesn't. But you take your subtotal, you multiply it by 8% to get the tax, and then you add everything up, and this is your actual total. All right. Now, in Georgia, sales tax rates vary from 4 to 8%. This is an example of, I think, from a couple years ago. I don't know if any of these have changed or not, but this is where it was a couple years back. Now, Becky went to the shoe store to buy a pair of shoes. The shoes cost $85.89. The store was located in Snellville, where the sales tax rate is 8% or 6%. So, how much tax did she pay? Well, very simply, we have to take what she bought. So, what she bought was a pair of shoes, and it was $85.89. All right. We are going to multiply that by the sales tax expressed as a decimal, which is 0.06, which gives you a tax of $5.15. All right. So how much tax did you pay? $5.15. Now, what was her total purchase price? Well, again, the subtotal was $85.89 plus the sales tax, which is $5.15, which gives you an overall price of $91.04. All right. So example number 2, when Sarah went to the local Dollar General for a few items, she bought eggs, paper towels, cheese. Okay. Now, this question is a little different just because of the fact that I decided to change it up a little bit and apply it to where the sales tax is not charged on food items. Where students get confused is a lot of times students will always remember this and be like, oh, okay, do I multiply the sales tax? And guys, let me just kind of give you a heads up, and that is if the question doesn't give you a stipulation where the sales tax is not charged on food items, then the sales tax gets multiplied by everything. But in this case, it's just sales tax is not charged on food items. So this is kind of like a one-time deal here. All right. All right, so first off, we got to find out what is her subtotal. So her subtotal was everything that she bought. So she bought eggs, she bought towels, she bought cheese, and she bought paper plates. All right, so when adding all those up, her subtotal ends up being $7.79. But the sales tax only works for non-food items. All right, so that means we're only paying attention to non-food items. So eggs you eat, towels you do not eat, cheese you eat, paper plates you don't eat. All right. So this is going to be off to the side here. 199 plus 109 gives me 3.08. This is the number that I'm multiplying by the tax because this is the only thing that's going to be charged on tax is non-food items. So 0.07 gives me 22 cents. All right, so how much tax will she pay? She'll only pay 22 cents because half of what she bought were food items. So very simply, how much total purchase price? $7.79 plus 22 cents, 8.01. $8.01. All right. Now, the ad valorem tax. Now, the ad valorem tax, from a mathematical standpoint, is very similar to sales tax. Basically, what happens is whenever you buy a car, you're basically paying sales tax on a car when you buy it. Okay, so the TAVT basically works in the sense of sales tax. Now, I could have probably done a better job of explaining that, but that's kind of giving you the short term. If you want to read it, just pause it and you can read the little history behind it. So Carrie purchased a used car for $7,400 and had to pay 8.5 sales tax. How much did she pay? All right, so again, similar TAVT or sales tax. All you're doing is multiplying by the tax, which is 0.085 as a decimal, which gives you a tax of 200 or $629. Now, what is the total purchase price of the car? All right, so the total purchase price of the car, I'm just going to take the original cost of the car, which was 7 grand, plus the $600 in tax. And of course, when I say 600, I mean 629, 8,029. All right. So Toby budgeted 40,000 total for his new car. He found a car for 38,000, and the TAVT was 7%. What is the total purchase price? All right. So again, this is now one of those TAVT questions where mathematically you're doing the same exact thing as you would sales tax. So very simply, we're just going to take the TAVT tax, and then we are going to multiply the TAV tax by 38,000. So again, 38,000, we're going to multiply it by the tax expressed as a decimal, which gives you a tax of 2,660 bucks. Now, the question was, will he stay in budget? Well, the car was 38,000. We got to add back the tax, 2,660. You do the math, and we're at 40,660. So, did he stay within this $40,000 budget? We're going to say no, he did not. All right. All right, so just a couple of questions here. So it's, Josh is buying a CD player for $149. The sales tax rate is 7%. What is the sales tax? All right, now one of the things I'll tell you when it comes to making sure you're doing this carefully is sometimes it'll ask you how much tax are you paying, and then sometimes it's going to ask you, okay, what is the total purchase price? So just keep in mind, don't go straight into the whole, oh, I'm going to always add it back to get the total. That may not be what the question's asking. Question number 2, Harry buys 3 shirts. The sales tax rate is $5. Here we go, perfect example. So the question above it was, what is the sales tax? The question below it is now, what is the total sales price? So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so for this particular one, and we'll probably stop with this one, he is buying 3 shirts for $19.99, so you can do like $19.99 plus $19.99 plus $19.99. I know this is the old school way of doing things. 2 pairs of pants, 25 plus 25. All right, so that's going to give me a number that I don't know off the top of my head. All right, so that's going to give me an overall subtotal of 109.97. Sales tax is 5%, times it by 0.05. And we're going to get a tax of $5. And it looks like we're going to have to round here, $5.50. Now we're looking for the total purchase price, which means we're adding back to the subtotal, which gives me an answer of $115.47. All right. So that's pretty much it. Pretty simple. If you have any questions, as always, please let me know. Thank you for watching.